All right, so Vic Camp here, and today we're going to be doing something a little different with this video. Most of my videos are of all the games, people's collections in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and I thought today we'd just sit down and talk pinball. First, I think I should give you a little rundown on why I'm so obsessed and passionate about pinball. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, teenage years during the late 60s, early 70s, and pinball was everywhere in that city. And what really happened was we moved from one house to another house in 1963. And that house was on Summer Avenue. And it was the last house on the block, or the first house on the block, any way you want to put it. And right next to our house was a string of little stores, shops. There was a barber shop, there was a tire shop, and on the corner was a candy store. And they had a big counter, and they'd serve soda and burgers, and they had newspapers. It was a candy store. So in there, when I first moved there, I couldn't believe it, but there were pinball machines and a jukebox. So at one point, I guess around 7 or 8 years old, I was allowed to play. And that's how it got started, in that little candy store there on Summer Avenue. From that store, I ended up working for a couple of amusement companies as I got older, and got to know the coin-op industry in the big city. Quite a few companies were up and about and operating, and I loved it. So it became a addiction for me, actually. So, and then at the age of 13, I guess that was around 69, I found what they call Bally Bingo pinball machines, where you got to play 5 balls or whatever, and they would pay you out in monies for your replays or your wins. And you can play bingo with the cards on the back glass. And if you got good at it, or you got lucky and you scored a lot of replays, because you can win up to, at that time in 1969, you can win up to 999 games, because the credit counter had 3 rails. And then in 71, they went up to 4 rails on the credit counters, or the replay counters. And that would give you, I guess, 9,999 replays if you were that good, but I don't think anybody ever got up that high. So anyway, just wanted to give you a little rundown on my background. I mean, in 69, my father did buy a pinball machine for me, and we put it in my basement, which was kind of cool to have. And believe it or not, I was getting a lot of pinball players from the candy store 50 feet from our house, where I used to frequent, to come down and play in my Gottlieb Sweethearts pinball machine in 1969, when they were, I put the coin mech in for a nickel for 1 game and 5 games for a quarter. The candy store was 10 cents for 1 game and 3 games for a quarter in the candy store. So of course everybody wanted to come and play in my basement. My parents didn't know what was going on. My father was working, my mother was busy. And you could say I was operating a game back in 1969. So, but I didn't play that much pinball in 1969 because, like I was saying, I got hooked on the Bally Bingo pinball machines that were throughout the whole city. And they were in every establishment you can think of. They were in a Hallmark store. They were in these Italian members-only cafes and clubs. They were in candy stores. They were in this hot dog and lemon ice place. I mean, they were all over the city. And at that age, 13 in 1969, that's all I played. Didn't play pinball anymore. I was running around, going to these establishments, totally addicted, and playing bingo pinball machines. And that's why I have a few here behind me, and I have one over here at Coney Island. Over the years in my collection, my collection spans a pretty long time, at least 35 plus years. And we're not even counting the early teens when I was working for the operators and playing bingos all over the city. Really, my collecting days are probably around 35 years plus. So I had a lot of bingos in my collection. I had Bikini, I had Sea Island, I had two Gaieties, I had Variety. I mean, the list goes on. I'm not going to bore you. I had a lot of bingos and I loved them. Took them in here to my collection, got them going, operating correctly, and they never failed me after that. They were so much fun to play. So I'm going to cut this video short a little bit and just put it down as a introduction to my background in this great hobby. So maybe it'll be interesting for somebody or most of my viewers, perhaps, that they want to hear me talk about more stories. I have so many stories about the games and the establishments, what went on with my friends. I mean, I can go into anything. I know a lot about the history of the games. I know so many collectors, and I can do a collector's video on the East Coast here. I mean, I could even talk about restorations I did. I mean, it can go on and on and on. That is, if there's any interest. So I'm thinking to try to do something different with my videos and reaching out to my viewers and trying to get to know them a little better, and hopefully I'll get more subscribers and I'll get more people to comment on my channel, because all of this is important to me. I want the EM pinball machines to stay around for a long time. The hobby is basically all the new games and all the digital DMD games and solid state games. The EMs have taken a back seat in the hobby from when they were number one in the hobby, the EMs, back 30 years ago with all the shows, 25, 30 years ago. They were all EMs when you went. A few, yeah, you saw some solid state games, but not like today. So there's so much to talk about. I hope you're interested in that. Please leave comments and let me know. Would you like me to talk more and into the hobby and the games? Let me know. Like I said, the commenting and subscribing is important because I want my channel to grow and I want the EMs to be more popular, and hopefully that'll happen. So don't be shy. Subscribe and comment. Until next time, it's Vic Camp here in North New Jersey. Have a great day.